I am the director of the independent retail channel and marketing. And today I am excited. We have Tammy Krein of Ken's Flower Shop from Bismarck, North Dakota, here with us. Hello, Tammy.
Hello, everyone.
How are you doing today, Tammy?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good. Super excited to have you on. Tammy's got a lot to share with us. We also have Sandy Schreck, our education coordinator, who will be hosting the show. I will be monitoring. If you have questions, I pop them in the chat, do whatever. I will post or present them to Tammy, and we'll get your questions answered, and then we'll just go from there. So Sandy, you want to kick things off?
All right, welcome everybody. Sandy Schreck, and today we have Tammy Krein from Ken's Flower Shop in Bismarck, North Dakota. And she is really seeing that emotional aspect that flowers can produce, the power of flowers really being a driving force of her increase in sales. So we'd like to welcome her. And Tammy, can you tell us a little bit about your shop and yourself?
Yes, I am Tammy Krein. I have Ken's Flower Shop here in the capital city of Bismarck, North Dakota. I've owned it now for about 19 and a half years, but I've kind of been working with this shop. I started part-time as a driver when I was 18, and they taught me the basics of design through my 20s, and then in 2001 I purchased it after a bunch of arm twisting or whatever. When I said I would never own a flower shop, here I am, and I still enjoy going to work every day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Must have got in your blood, huh? You couldn't get
Well, let's just say the previous owner's sister was my high school boyfriend's sister or whatever. So it kind of started out that way. My high school, yeah. So,
Gotcha.
But yeah, that didn't work out, but this did.
That's awesome.
We know you're really passionate about floral design and sharing your talents and skills. And so we do want to just take a look at that. But we do have links that I'm going to put in the chat now. If everybody can make sure, if they have any questions kind of as we're going, you open up the chat box and put your questions in there. But if you can just say hi and greet all of the other attendees. We really want to form partnerships between ourselves and the guests that we work with. We got Ray flying all over the place.
Literally flying, it looks like. Hey, Ray had a good comment, Sandy, that our product manager of our import flowers, Ken Klein, used to deliver flowers to Ken's Flower Shop on a regular basis for us. So our Ken worked with your Ken, or the original Ken.
Nice.
Isn't that awesome? Yeah.
Small world.
Small world.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the first thing that we're going to look at, that flower shop's been in business over 50 years, and Tammy's owned it now for almost 20 years this coming April.
Almost.
But one of the biggest driving forces behind her flower shop right now is actually her website. It's really the doorway into her shop. And so Tammy, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's driving sales there?
A lot of things driving sales right now are COVID related. Obviously we're doing a lot of deliveries to quarantine people who are on the quarantine or sick with the COVID, doing the no contact deliveries. A lot of to the hospitals for those people they're not allowed to go visit their family members in the hospital. So they're sending more flowers to the hospital for that purpose. A lot of, like I said, pick-me-ups to the house. Birthday bouquets have been bigger now because they're not able to go out and celebrate as much together. So people are sending more and more flowers. They go to our website, and I am a true, I kind of snoop on, of course, my competition's website, as we all should. And see what they're featuring and price points, and then I go back and kind of tweak mine to adjust. I do have a Teleflora-based website, which I believe I am the only one in town with a Teleflora-based website at this point, but it's very popular, and I am averaging 10 to 15 orders a day coming strictly from the website. That's on top of those that are people are calling and saying, I'm on your website and I want this item. So it's been real busy with that.
I like your shop, Make Someone Smile. So if I'm on your website and I just really want to make someone smile, I can see right there. I can click and shop super easily. It's nice.
I love this, that slogan of, show your care when you can't be there.
Oh,
I think that really appeals to the broad emotional impact that flowers can make, and just makes that connection for people. Like, you don't need a reason. You just need to send flowers and just show people you're thinking about them.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And Tammy, you said that, that's really a lot of the floral purchases you see are kind of just capturing those emotions.
Oh, very much. Right now, we all need a little pick-me-up with everything going on, and there's nothing better than a fresh bouquet. The scents, the sights, the smell, all helps give somebody a smile that just is having a tough day or stuck at home with a family of kids or something. If you're locked down for,
That's right.
we all need to pick me up for that.
And we see, like, how many people remember that this Saturday is Boss's Day. Tammy and I were talking about, she's like, I really need it to be a different week. I'm kind of busy this week, but that's one of those things that kind of snuck up. And so she's got a great reminder there on her website, and then kind of going into some of the fall transseasonal bouquets that really show a great variety of product.
I love fall.
Yeah, it's a good mix. And so just keeping everything current on your website, and working with a website provider that makes sure that you're on the top of the search when people search for flowers in your area.
Yes.
But so one of the other things you told me that you have started working with that kind of has generated a lot of business is that partnership you're developing with funeral homes. Can you tell us about some of that process that you did?
Yes, working into the funeral homes was kind of a long process. When I took over, it took a long time to get my foot in the door. There's other shops, competitors in town that had been in there, and they were kind of stuck in those shops. So it took a long time. I contacted directors, made sure they knew I was available to assist with flower movement or setup or any specifics if they had special requests. I've gone in after hours, after visitations, and picked up a casket spray and turned it into an urn spray for them for the next day. If it's they had a public viewing and they needed it for a cremation the next day, I've done that. If you see that they're really busy, I've brought donuts into their drop-off, or I've had meals delivered, or just whatever to make their life a little bit easier. And it's in the last probably 3-4 years that has come around now where I'm, one of more of the, if they're going to refer a shop, they'll typically pick myself, or maybe one other one, but they tend to steer people to places they like. And so if you can get in there
Absolutely.
and make a name for yourself, you can really, really generate some business. But make sure you're maintaining on the top of their list. And don't forget, I know at Christmas time, I'll make a tray of homemade goodies along with gift cards for them for, thanking them for that year, and appreciate that I appreciate their business. And if there's anything else I can do for them, to let me know. It doesn't necessarily always mean giving them a discount or whatever, but just making sure they know that you care about them, and that they're busy too and need, a little pick me up, whether it be coffee and donuts, or I've had homemade caramel rolls delivered, or meals brought in, just here and there, so, and that's really paid off now in the long run.
So
I get a
really
lot.
developing that relationship.
Yeah.
And now, do you have selling tools that you provide them with, or do they mostly sell for you, or you sell it?
They usually sell for me. I have some of the funeral homes prefer the books. I have a sympathy book that I do provide for them. But a lot of them have learned that I kind of like to customize. I don't necessarily like to follow the picture perfect. So they will call with color theme or flower choice, if there's any specifics, and then a dollar amount, and just let me create. So there are those that want the book, but a lot of times they've learned now, give me something in this price point with these colors, and the family's good with that.
Yeah, and that's a great way to sell. And that's where we see a lot of people moving towards selling more toward color and a theme, or just like an overall feeling, and then letting it up to the designer. And I know that you really work to continue to educate yourself on current styles and stuff, but so that they have that trust relationship. So let's just take a look at your Facebook page here.
I have a question that came up.
Yeah.
I can't see.
Oh, okay.
Let me see. No, I can now. Question for Tammy. Do you encourage customers to call instead of order through your website? And if they call you, you get a better margin, right? Or no? I think because of the FTD.
Yes, there is a little, obviously there's a charge if they order off the website. So it saves me a little money if they call direct. But so many people are ordering when it's convenient for them. So if they're ordering at 2:00 in the morning, or whatever is convenient for them, I really don't have a preference as far as that goes.
You don't want them to call you at 2 a.m.?
No, not really.
But the need to have that 24/7 availability is definitely there. So we do.
Oh, yes.
Our websites are our front doors right now, and our window into our business, and all of those things. So it is very critical and important.
And I have another follow-up question about this, if I may. This is from Lisa. Thanks for asking, Lisa. When your customers do order off the website, do they expect it to look exactly like the picture? Or are you able to get them to be a little more flexible like you do with the funeral homes? And how does that work when you have stock photos they're choosing from?
There is a disclaimer on the website that sometimes things have to be substituted. If they have the option with this website to do second choice, which is as similar as possible. And as long as they pick that, then for their second choice, then I'm able to do substitutions that make it still have that same feel and value. If they do opt to choose no subs, then I will always call them if there's something that I do not have on hand prior to subbing out and seeing if we can, or what other options they have.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so some follow through there with your customers if needed.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Great questions. And we encourage anybody to open up that chat and send in your questions. We put the link to the LBR playlist on there as well. But just kind of keep them coming. And so we're going to take a look at, go back and go to Tammy's Facebook page. And so you can see there the Ken's Flower Shop. And one of the things that she did this week was actually take a class from Donald Yim. So this was a virtual class. And why don't you tell us about that?
All right, Donald Yim's class was, he's quite comical. So it was very interesting, very structural designer, which at times is very hard for me because I'm a speed designer. I want to move it and get it out. I don't have time to do a whole lot of intricate stuff all the time unless you get to play. And he did encourage us as designers that we need to play for ourselves and be able to create. And so he definitely had some great tips and tricks. I want to test for my AIFD this next year in Chicago now. I'm hoping COVID allows for that. So I'm trying to catch all the education that I can to try and stay on top of the trends and get a little more of a heads up on the competition or whatever. And make sure that my designs have more of a modern twist or whatever compared to someone else's. So education to me is key on staying on top of that. The more I know, the better, the better I feel about it and the better I feel about my work. And so it's always fun to work with other floral people. I learned so much from the other designers, the other participants. So it's very important.
Yeah, we've been at a couple classes together. Last year, I was with Tammy at Inspired Design in South Dakota, and she made some amazing designs there, but has taken part in that too. And part of Inspired Design is also getting like styled photo shoots. So you went back, they had a little mini session this fall, and you went back and did that again. But tell us about that.
The Inspired Design, the photo shoots are amazing. To be able to get a professional photographer in with the correct cameras, the correct lighting, the correct angles and all of that, and to get models that can really showcase your design work, makes for a great portfolio for you to show off. For your flower shop, for whether you're, wanting to test or whatever type you want to do with it. It's a nice boost for your ego, your emotion, your shop, everything. If you can get those professional shots in an amazing location that really just enhances your work. So yeah, it was definitely well worth the time and effort.
Well, and also creating your network. And so it was meeting other florists that are like you and believe in education and the power of utilizing those photos in your Instagram and your social media feeds. So we see on your Facebook page that like here you're posting some of your bridal bouquets. And so I called her out on this, it's just shot straight down on the floor. And it's a great shot, that wood background, and really shows the depth and color on that bouquet. But then showing some of the different pieces too. So here you can see some planters that she's done, and then has a call to action on give us a call. And we can send one out to your loved one. And so just follow through on that. We'll just flip over to her Instagram. And so Tammy said too that Instagram is not as strong for her, but continuing to grow on that, right, Tammy?
Yes, I'm working on it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good job. I mean, it's pretty to look at.
Okay, so I see one other question. Oh no. Oh, that one's been answered already. Somebody's married to a funeral director. That always helps, right?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
But here, just showing the variety
yeah,
of work.
Shannon said that.
So yeah, the corsages to the daily work, and just looking at all of that variety. So, but then as we're looking forward with some of the upcoming holidays, on Thanksgiving, what are you thinking that's going to happen there?
I really think Thanksgiving is probably going to be one of the best we've seen in a long time. I know we kind of got hit at Easter. We weren't expecting the volume that came through for Easter, and
Right.
so I think for Thanksgiving we need to anticipate that. And I am, ordering some pre-green centerpieces and stuff, and to try and get ahead of the game myself. Probably boost the typical order that I would have for Thanksgiving week, just because I think it's, as everybody said, there's going to be a lot of gatherings that either aren't going to take place or people can't go, so they're going to send flowers, or there's going to be a lot of smaller gatherings, or just can't go see your loved ones in the nursing home, so you're going to send stuff there. Yeah, so I really think Thanksgiving is going to turn out to be an incredible holiday for us.
Yeah, and
That's
maybe
what we've heard too.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we're seeing some of the colors, so maybe not quite so traditional in color, and think about also encouraging people to do some of those trans-seasonal designs that kind of cover more extended centerpiece from Thanksgiving into the first couple weeks of the holiday, using some holiday greens to kind of bring that aspect of after Thanksgiving. But just really looking, we really feel strongly that Thanksgiving is going to be large as well. And just kind of, the more abundance of numerous gatherings. So it's not going to be the big pieces. It's going to be smaller pieces with smaller gatherings, but still embracing that tradition of having flowers and the nursing home aspect. I have my parents in the nursing home, and the calancho from May that was delivered in there is dead in the window, but I can't go in there to take it out. And the nurses are too busy to handle it, but it just really kind of brings to light that it's time to kind of get out there and start thinking about what are some programs we can do to connect with some of the people that are still shut in, and be able to bring some joy into their lives too.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So, well, this was amazing. Thank you for all of the great ideas. So we are going to be posting this on our Glenn Bush. We have a playlist on YouTube, and for the LBR Share Success. Okay, come on, there we go. So, and you can get that link from your salesperson and be able to watch some of the previous ones. Last week, Allie talked to us about kind of expanding her reach into some of the other towns around her. She invested in some coolers, and then also just working with some of the things with her employees, and some other great tips that she has she's from the Shed in Thief River Falls, Minnesota. And so she was our guest last week. We've got her video up there, and then we'll put Tammy up there tomorrow. But we really want to thank you, Tammy, for sharing your great ideas. Nancy, do we have any other questions that came in?
We don't.
Okay.
Right now, I just want to say thank you, Tammy. We have a gift from LBR to you. We'll be sending you a bunch of fun, special flowers for you to play with, and we hope you enjoy them and take time to, like Donald said, to play, have fun. And I love that you say that, and I think really, as busy as everybody is in this industry, if you can give yourself 30 to 40 minutes a week, right, for playtime, just as a reward for yourself, it's like this, you got into this business because you love what you do. And so I encourage it. I love that you said that. So thanks for sharing that. Also, I loved that you really engaged on working on your relationship with the funeral directors and bringing them donuts and snacks and thanking them for that relationship and the business they've brought to you. It's just smart business to do what you have been doing and gaining your business that way. So thanks for sharing that as well.
Absolutely. And thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So if you've implemented any of these ideas, some of the ideas we had from the previous webinars, or some other things that you would like to be a part of this LBR Share Success program, please contact me at Lembush Roses. Our next webinar will be Tuesday, October 27th at 2:30. And as always, the replays are available on YouTube. So thanks so much for joining us. And thank you, Tammy, for sharing all your insights of how you keep driving sales and connecting with those customers through that emotional context that we can have, and believing in the power of flowers. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.